Iron, Charlotte, and Dan are managers of Emerge Education, which is Europe's leading EdTech accelerator. I will ask a couple more questions about London in general and about the startup community. What makes London a great place to live and start a new venture?
Where do you start? Everything.
Yeah, so I think we can talk about investment, so the level of investment. So the government have two brilliant schemes for increasing the level of investment in early stage companies. So one of them is the Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme, SEIS, and the other one is Enterprise Investment Scheme, EIS. And it basically allows investors up to 150k for SEIS and past 150k for EIS to claim, it allows them to claim back income tax relief up to 50% of the amount that they invested on their investment, which means that it's an incredibly tax efficient scenario for angel investors to make investments into early stage companies. And because of that, you're seeing the amount of investment, the amount of angels that are out there increase. You're also seeing the amount of crowdfunding tools out there increase as well. We also have an awful lot of government involvement. So you have something like Big Society Capital, which is helping with social enterprises, so more on the social side of enterprise. You have Innovate UK, which gives out grants. You have R&D tax credits, which means that people can claim back a huge amount of startups can claim back a huge amount of their costs on development if they're spending their own man hours developing it. So it's an incentive to bring tech in-house, which is awesome for a tech startup. I think it's a very healthy situation from how much the government is investing in the tech space. You can see that if you walk around Tech City, so the area we're in now, Old Street in London. You can see how many people are co-locating here, how active it is. You just need to go down to Google campus and spend a couple of days, and you can see the amount of really engaging activities which are happening sort of hour after hour after hour.
I think I agree with that, and the encouragement for communication amongst startups in the tech world is huge. Sort of meetups in every specific sector to encourage people to get together and share ideas is strong.
I think just to add on to that, there are obviously, as you say, between startups there's a huge amount of activity where you can find a meetup for every endless niche kind of needs, and you'll find people who can help you. But more than that, you've got I think incredible amount of goodwill from experienced founders and from investors and from industry leaders or practitioners, educational practitioners who are based in and around London and who have just a lot of kind of enthusiasm, particularly for educational technology, for education more broadly, and willingness to help. So I think for an early stage startup here, if you can get that introduction, people are around who will mentor you, who will help you, and it's kind of real, and it's amazing to see the impact that can have at an early stage.
Do you see also some disadvantages, something that
in London
could be intrusive for startups?
Yeah, I think market, like the size of the market. So if you locate to London because you want to look at the UK market, then that's a small market. It's a really small market in comparison to the US. But the UK gives you much easier access to the EU, which is now competing with the US. It also provides you much easier access to the emerging markets as well, and gives you, I think, more of a thought leadership status. It's definitely within education. So coming from the UK gives you more of a credibility boost within those emerging markets. So it gives you access to bigger markets. But if you're looking only at the UK market, it's much smaller. And so your immediately addressable market slide is going to be less impressive than if you decide to locate in the US. But the total addressable market and those routes to that market, I think, are easier.
Also, the city just can be a pricey place to start up a company. And I know there's a lot of there's incubators in Birmingham and other cities where everything's just a bit cheaper, but it's something you need to weigh up to be near the community and near Silicon Roundabout, and just all the people who are really at the top end of this field.
Yeah. Yeah, the entrepreneurs bring the gentrified cocktail bars, and all that ramps up prices. So
Yeah.
But I think that's the same everywhere.
Why you think it emerged in the current state? I mean, the startup ecosystem. I read that London is 6th best startup hotspot in the world, and in Europe first. First 4 places is the US, Tel Aviv, and then London. Why you think London is doing so well? What are the reasons?
I think it's what we said. It's the amount of active investment from the government. I think it is the goodwill. I think that you have a load of entrepreneurs who have been waiting for an ecosystem that they can give back to. And so because now, and definitely over the last 5 years, the tech startup ecosystem has really started to bubble, all of that goodwill has been able to come out. And that helps entrepreneurs. Like, having mentors really helps entrepreneurs. And it sounds easy to say, but it's great.
What are the businesses that are thriving best in London? EdTech, FinTech, something else?
Yeah, I think FinTech.
I'd say FinTech.
FinTech is a massive market.
Yeah. And obviously because there's a lot of potential money there, with the city being one of the strongest in the world. I think
FinTech is doing very, very well. I think you also have EdTech, which is really on the rise, and an awful lot of activity is happening there. I think you also then have medtech and biotech, stuff that's coming out of, I'm not world-class research institutions, so whether it be Cambridge, Oxford, UCL, Imperial, all of these world-class educational research institutions are building spin-offs, and that also is attributable to the health of the ecosystem.
I hear from everywhere that the networking scene is really amazing. But if I came as a freshman to London, where shall I look for some interesting events? Where to go? How to network?
I think Meetup is a great start, especially if you have if you're interested in a particular vertical. So if you're interested in EdTech, there is an EdTech developers meetup, and that can already take you down to such a niche group that within 2 meetings you'll be seeing the same faces, and you'll kind of be able to start making introductions.
I think also coming to a co-working space like EdSpace gives you immediately your officers experts in your field, and also engages with the community regularly. And the communication within spaces, co-working spaces in London is very good. It's a good place to start.
All of these co-working spaces, so the valuations of WeWork, but also any other smaller co-working spaces, all have the same model, which is that they want to become the network orchestrator for their specific sector, or tech startups in general. And so because of that, they put on great events for free for anyone to attend on the whole. And so that's a great way for you to just start to dive into the ecosystem that you want to be a part of.
Or consider taking part in an accelerator,
for
example.
What would be your tips for incoming entrepreneurs or starting entrepreneurs in London?
So mine's a stolen one. So it was from one of our investors. He said that he thinks a founder cannot afford to be forgotten, and so you need to have some kind of personality brand, and that personality brand can be geeky, nervous, awkward, whatever you like, but memorable. And we had some controversy over some interesting outfit choices, very memorable outfit choices, at some points during the applications for Emerge. And personally, I think being remembered is just totally essential. And so I think even if it is wear some zany clothing or exaggerate how awkward you are, you know, do
It
something
works.
to be remembered. Yeah, it works.
Uh-huh.
Stand out.
Cult of personality.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I think speak to customers. Just spend all of your time getting value in front of customers as soon as possible. And if you spend the vast majority of your day setting up and going to meetings, then I think you'll do well. You'll learn things and you'll start to put them back into action. Yeah.
Anything to avoid?
I think stupid projections. Like in
Hockey
face-
stick.
Sorry?
Hockey stick.
Yeah. Stupid projections, I think, aren't helpful.
It's very easy also to get sort of avoid inefficiency. I think this is an important thing.
Yeah.
Make
And
the most of your time.
being too precious about product. Stealth mode. Avoid stealth mode. That's stupid. Go and talk to people.
What is the first lesson startups that are accelerated here are likely to learn in first 3 months?
I think it'd be about prioritizing your time. So link to that message that I was saying before.
Speak to customers.
Yeah, it's about prioritizing your time. We'll put you in front of so many people that you have to understand. You have to really set your objectives over what learnings you're wanting to get.
Continually testing and testing.
That's how you speak to.
I think there's also something about being able to take advice. So, as Dan said, part of the bespoke elements of the curriculum, you're speaking to an invested, experienced angel and having an hour with them, and then also sitting down with Dan, you know, on a fortnightly basis and talking through your current issues. So I think for founders who maybe haven't done an accelerator before, or who maybe haven't had a huge amount of advice, that is something you have to get used to very early on, and knowing how to respond.
And it being honest as well. I think that's what's the really nice thing about joining an accelerator program. If you join an accelerator program, you have people that are bought into your business when they agree to take you on the program. And from that point of view, you can trust their advice that it's going to be honest. And we have loads of that. We have loads of meetings where you sit down and you say, no, that strategy is awful, or mate, your design absolutely sucks, like this looks shit. But I think that's helpful.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's good feedback.
Yeah.
My last question, or maybe it's not a question, but what would be your last word, one word of advice for starting entrepreneurs?
Goodness. Apply for Emerge. Yeah. No, genuinely, I really think it's a phenomenal program in EdTech. Yeah, apply. It's good.
I would say be memorable.
Yeah.
You know, we said that it's a really thriving community, so that means like you need to make yourself stand out.
This is a tricky one. I think continually, or as we said earlier, knowing your customer and testing what works, as opposed to driving down one route for a long way and forgetting that you can go. There are different routes to go down.
Thank you very much. I think everything is very valuable for our audience and for all the founders, startups, entrepreneurs. So thank you and good luck with your accelerator.
Thank you.
Really good.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.